everybody, I'm Yeka, and I'm here with Connor, who's going to share his success story with us. How are you doing today, Connor?
Doing very well.
Great. So tell me a little bit about your previous health history.
So I had Barmer Forest virus, which a lot of people don't know about. So you might have heard of Ross River. These are very Australian specific illnesses, but they're mosquito-borne illnesses. And I was bitten when I was 21. And then for 18 months, I had chronic fatigue. And then it went away. And it was pretty mild. For whatever reason, almost 3 years ago now, it was about October, it came back and it was really bad. I suddenly I was in a wheelchair. I slept all the time. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't eat anything. I had all these gut problems. And, they had the endoscopy, colonoscopy, everything. And they went, no, you're fine. My doctors just gave me more and more and more medication. I just thought, this can't be right. How long am I supposed to do this? And no one was giving me any answers. So I think most people will say they listened to Joe Rogan, saw Michaela Peterson, and she talked about her health issues were as bad, if not worse than mine. And I just went, look, I cannot eat anything anymore, so I'm going to give this a go. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work for me, and I just go back to what I was doing before. And my other condition is autism, which I was not looking to cure, didn't think it was something you could cure. And well, here we are.
Okay, wow. And so you heard about Carnivore through, you said, the Joe Rogan podcast and Michaela Peterson?
Yeah.
And so did you start doing research on top of that, or did you just jump right in?
Yeah, so there's a few channels that I found that were very helpful. There's Health Coach Kate, Garland Farms, and What I've Learned, all on YouTube. And they do really good research, and so it was easy for me to fact check, because when I was doing plant-based keto, I was just sort of skimming along the surface of everyone just going along saying, yeah, fiber's good. You should have more fiber. No. That was possibly killing me slowly. So I did all my research beforehand. Hopefully I'll be able to graduate one day. I had about 3 units left to go of my librarianship and record keeping course. So I love research and compiling data and all of that. So I had the same approach to my diet. And December 2018, I think, is when I started. And I ordered all this meat online. And the guy delivering it went, so is this for dogs or something? No, it's just me. And I'm very lucky in Australia.
That's funny.
Yeah. In Australia, the meat is so good. It's mostly grass-fed. It's all local. It's, about... It's only a couple hours drive from here. If I wanted to go meet the cow, I could do that.
Wow, I love that. Yeah, I get my meat from a local rancher too, and you can just really taste the difference in quality.
Definitely. I've bought cheaper eggs sometimes because there's just nothing else around. You can tell, and it's a different color and consistency. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what kind of foods were you eating when you first started Carnivore? I know you said you bought meat from a local rancher.
Yeah, so I don't remember the name of that group or whatever, those ranchers, yeah. But it was, because I heard a lot about, you need to do nose to tail, lots of organ meat and stuff like that. So it was just beef, organ meats, so liver. I only just got into kidney recently. I actually quite like kidney. It just didn't occur to me. Heart, but yeah, mostly mince, because I just found that easiest to work with, and then got more experimental with steak. Is an art form. You can't just, my mum used to just take it out of the fridge, put it in a pan. It's gray and nasty. No.
So how do you like to eat the kidney?
So I made a steak and kidney pie. So this is something that's really changed. Is I was never really interested in food. Just, it was a chore. Just eat whatever. But I was still trying to eat healthy, or at least what I thought was healthy. And now I'm having a lot of fun finding ways to get creative. So I can eat dairy, thankfully, which you can make pastry and all that sort of stuff. So make this kind of pie with, it was beef mince, and then I put the kidney in there, and use beef stock and all sorts of stuff. And I think if I gave that to someone who wasn't carnivore and didn't know, they just said, yeah, that tastes good, tastes normal. So that's a thing that a lot of people, when I first went on this, go, that must be so boring. It would be the same thing. No, if you have imagination, it's not so bad.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Especially with all the different kinds of meats, and all the different cuts, you can really get creative with what you make.
Yeah, I am going through a pork phase right now. You can make pork rind, you can pork belly. You can't mess it up. I found, with beef, very specific steps I have to follow, otherwise it's not right. Pork, I haven't actually been able to screw it up yet.
That's good to hear. And so, did you have any issues when you started carnivore, or was it just smooth sailing the whole way? Or let people know if you had any like
I
hard times with anything.
Yeah, because I know some people just go from one way of eating to carnivore, just no warning for your body, and I can understand why some people have diarrhea for the first couple of weeks, or they have electrolyte problems. And no, so what I did was I slowly cut back everything that I was eating, that was plant-based, and then shifted across. And I think that was the best way, because it was a very smooth transition, and I just found every day my guts protested less and less.
Wow, yeah, I bet that was a lot easier. I know a lot of people just jump right into it. I know I did. I didn't even do keto before.
Oh
I
wow.
was doing paleo before. Yeah, so it was a lot of fiber, a lot of natural sugars, and I was limiting my meat actually. I ate meat only like 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah, because I
And then
was
I
told
switched
it's
to 100%.
unhealthy. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, I know a lot of people have issues the first week to couple weeks or a month even,
Hmm.
to have that transition period. But yeah, I'm sure that was a lot easier, just slowly cutting things out one by one. Um,
Yeah.
and so, what were the benefits that you saw? How long did it take for you to start noticing benefits?
So I think the digestive benefits were almost immediate, because I was at a point where I was doing one meal a day because I wasn't feeling great, so I just didn't want to eat. And the first thing I ate was actually chicken hearts, because I okay, so yeah, I forgetting the sequence of it. I think I did have some chicken and pork in that first few weeks, and then I tried doing just beef to see if that made a difference. But thankfully, I can eat other types. So chicken hearts were the first thing I ate. I'd never had them before, and I just was like, oh, I don't have like that reflux feeling. I don't have bloating. I don't immediately feel like I'm full or can't eat anymore. I was able to eat a proper meal for once in who knows months, probably at that point. And I think probably about a week or two, I was able to stand up, walk around. I think I even went shopping by myself without needing my wheelchair. And yeah, we're talking a couple of weeks. That's crazy.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, how long had you been in a wheelchair before then?
I think it was about 6 months. So I was well, at what point, trying to do all the figure out. So 2018, so 2017 would have, towards the end of 2017. So yeah, about 6 months in, I probably needed the wheelchair, and then 6 months after that, I was out of it again, I think, from the top of my head. And
Oh wow, that's
yeah,
amazing.
and it's strange, you know, the response to needing a wheelchair. I think everyone has this misconception of, oh, well, someone comes along and gives you your disabled license and then you get a wheelchair. No, it's just you realize I cannot get around, so I'm going to go buy one. But I think my mom kind of freaked out about that, thinking, oh, you know, you're giving up, or, you know, is this going to keep getting worse and worse? And, you know, thankfully found the carnivore diet, and that wasn't the case. But I think all of my issues are autoimmune, and it's really hard to get doctors to, well, even acknowledge that, but it's even harder to test that because we don't really know that much about these conditions. But I realized that when I was 11, on my 11th birthday, actually, I got gastro. Happy birthday to me. And it passed after a few days, after, you know, like it normally does. But after that, my personality totally changed. I had all these sensory issues, and my doctors and teachers started to think, oh, maybe you're autistic. And it was hard to get a diagnosis in the first place because all these therapists would say, well, you've only just started presenting symptoms sort of later in childhood. We never detected this earlier. So I fought so long to get the diagnosis, didn't get it until I was 19. And then as of a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, I noticed my symptoms went away. I went to a friend's Christmas in July party with her family. I didn't need earplugs. I didn't feel overwhelmed. There's this anxiety. You're kind of always on edge when you have autism because it's just, you know, everything has to be exactly in a certain way. And even in terms of how you carry yourself, like I did feel more tense, but you know, that night I just went, no, I'm so relaxed. I'm paying attention. I'm able to make eye contact and converse and stuff. Maybe I talk too much now. And no one else believed it, but I could feel it. And I have dealt with a lot of negative reactions. I have autistic friends who the idea of a cure is offensive to them, and people online, they're quite, it feels like, I think they think I invalidate their experience, which I don't think at all. But I believe that autism might be, well, like chronic fatigue. Not everyone had Balmer forest virus. They could have had COVID. They could have had even things like cancer, just anything that's traumatic on the body. You're going to have these reactions. So, you know, it might result in inflammation, might result in chronic fatigue, it might result in autism. And I think that's what the case was for me, that my gut wasn't able to digest plants. I kept eating plants. I kept feeling really anxious and on edge. And so 15 years of my life was spent living as a neurodiverse person, which I actually don't regret. I think it gives me a really unique perspective, and that's why I'm out there now. I've got my own website, ketomad.net, where I'm doing all this research into autism and diet, and I also put my recipes and stuff up there too. And I've had some parents contacting me saying, you know, my kid seems to have a similar condition to you, you know, how did you solve it? So that's something I really love about the carnivore community, is that we're all really connected and we all just really want to help each other, I think.
Yeah, I love that too about that. You know, we come, you know, everybody has a different health history, different health background, but, you know, we all had some sort of struggle. And then once we find this, like, it's almost like a secret cure to almost everything that most people don't want to
Yeah.
believe, you know? Yeah. And so, you know, we find this way of eating, this lifestyle that just helps us feel the best we've ever felt. And we just want to share it with everybody, you know, or everybody that wants to listen at least, and maybe even people that don't want to listen. But, you
Yeah.
know, we just want to share with everybody, and we just want to help everybody, you know, feel as good as we're feeling. And yeah, that's something that I really love about the carnivore community too.
Yeah, it very much like I don't know. I joined a cult or something because I'm just saying like, did you know about how fiber is bad for you, and did you know that all the essential nutrients you need are in beef, and just like constantly, and I'm sure annoying people with facts about the carnivore diet, but it was just it's so exciting when you find something not only that works, but just it flips everything you've ever been told, and you feel like, oh, I finally understand how my body works, how the food industry works, how nutrition in general works. And I think that's, I wouldn't say I used to have an eating disorder, but I just felt so anxious and confused about food or indifferent. Like, oh, well, okay, last week they said that carrots were good for you, and now they're saying carrots are bad for you. So I would just get so frustrated. I think a lot of people felt the same way. And now I actually understand, I guess you could say, the biomechanics, the actual means by which our body responds to different foods and how we evolved to be that way. And I watched a video, it was a lecture, I can't remember who it was, but he was an anthropologist, and he was saying, in nature, you know, back in the Paleolithic age, where do you think people were getting giant bananas and avocados from in, you know, northern, like North Europe, where there's barely even sunshine or anything like that? And I just suddenly went, oh yeah. And yet vegans will argue, oh no, we mostly ate plants. I see no evidence of this.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But I am glad I didn't go full vegan, but I was sort of vegetarian, or, you know, wasn't eating that many, eating the recommended serves of meat, which is like 2, 3 times a week. And I know what that does to my body. So anytime I do get into an argument with someone who is vegetarian or vegan, I go, well, this is what it does to me, and I know it's probably doing the same thing to you because we're all human, and fiber reacts pretty much the same for everybody. And yeah, it's the same thing with autism. I never regret any experiences, even if it was difficult to go through, because you learn something in the end.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with that statement for sure.
Can I
I
ask you
think
what
it's good
else?
as long as it brought you to this point, you know, to trying
Hmm.
out carnivore. Because you know, sadly, unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people will still try it, even though they see other people healing and thriving living this way.
I think it will eventually get to that point where it almost becomes um, what would you like the first resort for a doctor. You know, if someone goes in and says to a GP, oh, you know, I'm having trouble sleeping, or I have depression, anxiety, I think it would be wonderful if one day doctors were trained in nutrition, and instead of just saying, oh, well, here's some antidepressants, here's a prescription, which is what happened with me with my digestive problems. Oh, here's some very strong painkillers and, you know, medications. Um, yeah, no, we should work our way up to those things. And even now, um, you know, I still have, oh, I'll get the occasional headache and stuff, but I'm very reluctant to use ibuprofen, and I try to use different solutions, you know, natural things, or just using an ice pack on my head, for example. Cold showers, that's another thing. So that was, yeah, I forgot to mention that earlier. Carnivore has led me to this whole ancestral living thing. So I found, yeah, having cold showers, or just having more sun exposure, more vitamin D, um, it's all connected. And we're not really taught that, I think, in conventional medicine, or, you know, in high school. You know, most of us probably just, here's the food pyramid, here's very pathetic sex education, go out into the world, have fun with that. um so yeah, that's a bit of a tangent, but it changes the way you think about everything. You know, the way I think about how we're educated in school, how doctors are educated, how they seem to want to jump immediately to prescription medication. Um, the other thing I was going to say that had changed was things I didn't expect. So obviously, autism was the biggest surprise because they tell you that's for life. But um, my hair is better, my skin is better. I've got Sjogren's, which means that I think I'm always going to be kind of prone to dry skin and all of that. But it's a lot better now, very clear skin, and I'm sleeping really well. So even though I've got chronic fatigue, I'm sleeping, like, getting to a really deep, consistent sleep. So all of a sudden I was waking up with the sun. I've never done that before. And it was about, I'd say 9 months to about a year in, my sleep was really clockwork. And I never thought I had a problem before. Turns out it's not supposed to take an hour or more to fall asleep. I just thought that's how I was. Now it's probably about 20 minutes or less.
Wow, that's awesome.
Mm.
Yeah, for me with sleeping, it was kind of the opposite. It would take me about an hour to get out of bed in the mornings.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I had a problem with sleeping because I would be able to go to bed fine, and I slept, I was actually sleeping about 10 hours
Mm.
before I did carnivore. But, I still didn't think I had a problem with sleeping. And then I realized that I got even better sleep and less hours, and I was able to wake up and get up and go. And when I had to go to bed, I went to bed, same thing, like within 20 minutes. And yeah, it's crazy. You think you don't have these issues, and
Yep.
then you go carnivore, and then things actually get better, and you didn't think they were that bad.
Yeah, and I think that's why I would encourage everyone to give it a go, because you might not even know, like, you might have sleep apnea or you might snore in your sleep. And if you sleep alone or you live alone, there's no one around to tell you that. So uh, you might not be getting proper sleep and you wouldn't even know it. And uh, even things like joint inflammation or headaches or things like that most people think, oh, I'm just getting older. Oh, it's because of this, that, and the other. And yeah, I've heard people just go, oh, I didn't realize I had really bad knees before, but now I can actually, go up a flight of stairs or whatever. Um, Weirdly for me, I don't know if it's connected, but I used to have flat feet and I used to have to wear orthotics. I could not walk around without shoes. And that seems to have changed. And I've been trying to research that, going, is there some connection between diet? Is it like, I don't think I've changed anything else, but I think maybe what that is just strength. And over the years of wearing shoes with the orthotics, the leg muscles just got a lot weaker around that area. But now, that was unexpected, because I can't really exercise much. I do what I can without pushing myself, but uh, I lost body fat. I put on all this muscle, and I wasn't working out. That was bizarre.
Yeah, the exact same thing happened to me too. I was not working out at all. And yeah, I was losing body fat, and I could see muscle definition in my arms. And it was the
Yeah,
craziest thing just from changing your diet.
yeah. It's so clear to me that this is the way we were made to eat. And well, I mean, I guess we're probably eating mammoth back then, but same thing. Now I'm wondering what mammoth tastes like. I think it's like beef, I'd probably say.
It's, yeah, it's probably similar.
It's like a red meat. But yeah, I think plants are something we sort of resorted to as a last resort for survival, and it has gotten us through some very tough times. The Vikings had their grain stores and all of that. So I can't deny that it's that's kind of a human superpower. We are facultative carnivores, I'd say. I don't think we're omnivores. I think we're more like facultative carnivores, in that, yeah, we could live on grains and vegetables and stuff for a period of time. But when you give us meat, you can just see how much we thrive. It's unbelievable. And I find it funny, so many people still say, well, where's the evidence? There's not a lot of long-term studies on the carnivore diet. And it's just go on Reddit, just look around on YouTube, all these carnivore people, you can see how much better they look and feel. And also we act like, yeah, newly converted, what do you call it? Oh God, there's a word for it. Evangelizing. We're like, you can see how much we're getting out of it because we can't shut up about it.
Yeah, really. Yeah, that's one thing that really got me in the beginning was the success stories. I could not stop reading the success stories and looking at everybody's before and after pictures. It was just unbelievable. You know, I had to try it.
Especially for older people. Those are the stories I'm most fascinated by because I think our culture has this idea that, after you get past a certain age, you're just going to fall to bits and you just have to accept that. And it's like, no, there's these people, men and women in their 70s and 80s who are on the carnivore diet, and suddenly they're ripped, their skin is really like clear and looks younger, and it's like they've aged backwards. And I'm also thinking it might be because when you're eating meat, you're eating less, so you're fasting. So yeah, we are literally reversing aging here. And I know I've gone on about enough, but it's amazing. It's a miracle cure. It really is.
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely feel like I've been aging backwards. I've been getting younger the older I get. I've been doing it
Yeah.
for over 3 years now. And I've noticed that with all the other long-term carnivores too. They don't look like they're getting older. They only look healthier and healthier every year that goes by. And yeah, it's truly amazing to see other people thriving, living this way.
Mm. Um. And, oh, the other thing. It's probably the final thing. Of probably. What do we? Oh, yeah, it's about half an hour. I didn't think I was interested in food that much, but you do notice you have food cravings. Just if you're on this high sugar diet, I was used to having oatmeal with honey in it, or yeah, putting honey in tea, and just like little bits of sugar were sneaking in, and or having just a little bit of chocolate every day. And as I was switching over to the carnivore diet, I just realized, oh, I actually have like sugar cravings. I never thought I had a sweet tooth, but I you just don't realize until you take it away. And at this point, I don't have any temptation to go back to well, I guess a standard way of eating it. I I think the sweetest thing I probably have, like I have yogurt. I will have well, carnivore pancakes. So that's protein powder and eggs, and I'll either put mascarpone or ricotta, something that kind of sweetens it up a little bit. And that's, I
Mhm.
mean, probably everyone else would find that so bland, but I don't. That's all I really would want.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree. Your taste buds definitely change when you've been eating this way for a little while.
Milk is so
And
sweet now.
so, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it does have a little bit of sugars in it, but it's still, it's a different kind of sugar, and your
Mm.
I feel like your body processes it differently than other sugars.
Yeah, I think it's what do they call it? An endobiotic um, sort of thing. So something xenobiotic is different from your biology. So lactose or lactase is found in mammals. So I think the body knows what it's doing with that a little bit more. And well, I mean, we all came out, started the first few months of our lives processing that, so it makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And so, what advice do you have for anybody that's interested in starting out the carnivore diet? What tips do you have for them?
I think take it slow. I think the way I did it really worked in terms of and consistency as well. So it does take a lot of planning where you just go, okay, today I'm going to take these foods out, and then every few days you keep doing that until you are just strictly on meat. And listen to your body. If it's complaining, you look into that and figure out, well, do I need more electrolytes? Do I need more fat? Do I need more this, that, and the other. And what else? Because it was so smooth sailing for me. I didn't really find too many issues. But and keep notes. I think that's another one, because if you especially do have digestive issues like I do, where I would have these days where I ate nothing but meat. Why do I feel like I just bloating or whatever it is? So in my instance, it was chicken, which I think even in Australia they are grain fed. So I figured out, I can only have that once a week. So yeah, documentation and just preparation, slowly working your way into it and really observing. It's a science experiment on yourself, basically.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you got a good point there with the slowly easing into it. But I really think that would make it a lot easier for people, to just get through the adjustment and the initial phase of transitioning.
Yeah, because I think if you're already a little uncertain about it and then you throw yourself into the deep end and then you feel terrible for days on end, you're not gonna want to keep going. You're traumatizing yourself basically.
Right, right, yeah. Great. And so I would love for you to share your website again with everybody's for anybody that's interested in checking it out.
Yes, so that's ketomad, ketomad.net. And I post recipes, I post my own experiences. I also like to compile a lot of research because I know, most people don't have that time and don't have a librarianship degree. And I like to just compile a list of, okay, this is how agriculture this is the current state of agriculture, and this is what might be more ideal for the planet. So people might be coming to this diet for ethical reasons, for health. So then on the health side of things, I've got a list on that. Or my most popular stuff seems to be autism, because I think there are a lot of parents of autistic kids who are desperately trying to understand this. And I think if I can help anyone out there who turns out their problem is just autoimmune, I feel pretty good about that. And it seems like, some people have already benefited from my website already. So yeah, check it out.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. I can't wait to get it out there so others can enjoy it, and
Yeah.
hopefully it'll inspire some other people to start the carnivore diet.
Yeah. Do it. I think everyone should do it. Just give it 1 month. Everyone. Just 1 month.
Yeah. Great. Well, thanks again so much, Connor. It's nice talking to you.
Talking to you too.